Good evening, guys. Let me know if you can hear me. You can all drop a comment so I'll know you guys can hear me. Good evening, guys. Let me know if you can hear me. You can all drop a comment so I think the audio is clear. Let's pause this. I think the audio is clear. Um, so basically, I want to do a quick review on BTC, right? So I have to clear all my lines because this couple of days I've not really had a clear reading on BTC. Right, so I'll just do all of my analysis on the live section. So basically we're doing it together. Alright, so use a new tab for this. Let me use this one. Alright, so I will delete all of the lines, start afresh. I don't know if you guys can drop a comment if you guys can hear and see my screen. Okay. I think someone can hear me. So I think we're good to go. So like I said, I'll be starting afresh. Like I've updated all my lines, so I'll start to plot all of them from the beginning. Because we've been in a job for a while. We just had a breakout of that job. If you notice, we've been chopping around all of this box. We've been chopping around all of this region for some days. I think I lost quite some money here. So I missed this move up because I was short around somewhere here. So I missed this move up. Alright, but it is what it is. So let's start plotting our lines. How many are we here? Okay, we're 3. So the way I do my analysis, and that's the way you should too. You should do your analysis too. So basically, I start from the bigger time frames to get. So now moving on, I'm going to start from the monthly time frame. So we're currently in the monthly time frame. So we'll take the range of last month. We'll mark that out because basically I trade in ranges. So I take range highs and range lows. I trade around those areas rather. So we're starting analysis from last month's range. That is plotting out last month's high, last month's low. Yeah, it's last month, that is March candle. So I already highs and lows of either the monthly or the weekly. That's because I always trade around these areas. Right. So another thing to pick out is the mid area of last month. That will come around. Let me pick up my flip too. I'll come around 26, 24, 36, 6. That's one. Like that. Let's stick out on the rest. And let me label that. I'll label that as the mid area. Right. So you can see we've already left months range, right? But another thing to also look out for is this area we are currently. We are into some kind of resistance. Let me dial down to the weekly time frame so we can plot that very well. So this is the weekly time frame, right? If you notice, this is this area, all of this area. Basically, all of this area is an area of value. Previously, let me zoom this out. In the past, price reclaimed. It moved from here, from that same box area, then came back to test it as support before taking another move up to 69Ks. Then it tested here, the little bounce, but broke below, right? So in my view, all of this retest, this move into this area we have currently can still be an underside retest. You know, like the normal law of support and resistance is when a support rather, when a support gets broken, it automatically becomes resistance, and vice versa. That's the law of support and resistance, right? So now we broke below this support area because in the past it served as support. So we broke below that now. Now chances are it can be an underside retest. That is, come and test it as resistance. But we can't say for sure. We'll only show you what we have. We'll keep that in mind that okay, this area most likely will be our support, our resistance area rather, right? So let me delete this box. So if you also notice, this area comes in line with, it comes confluence with our last month's high, still around the same area, right? So it's safe to say we can delete this. And also another thing that I've also been mentioning is this weekly order block, weekly bearish order block we have here. If you don't know what an order block is, you can go watch videos on what order blocks are, right? So you understand better. But basically, this candle, this up candle before the down move that broke market structure, is a bearish weekly order block. So now price has come back to retest it, right? So this is basically serving as resistance, confluence with the other idea I explained the other time, right? So that's another thing to look out for, right? So it was this I saw that I took a swing shot around 29,800 area. I still have that running. I have not closed that yet rather. So this was one of the things I saw that made me take shots, because I was basically long all the way from this candle, this bullish engulfing candle here. If you check my page, my Twitter feed, you have to go really down. I was long. I tweeted here. Then I was basically long all the move up here, right? So when it goes here, I felt okay. We're due for some pullback of some sorts, because we obviously have two resistance, the one I mentioned earlier and this weekly order block, right? Price dropped, but it hasn't really dropped the way I wanted to drop. So for now I can't say, but I'm still holding my swing short, right? So those things are what you have to note: the weekly order block and the support, the resistance area that I explained before, this area here, right? So that's that. So let's go back to our lines. So we already plotted our previous month's highs, low, and the mid area, right? So now you can also divide this because you can also divide this into ranges too. This I and this, you can divide it and find the midpoint because price most likely respects the midpoint of that area. So let me place a line there. It's 26,769. Alright, so now I've divided our month into two halves, then divided one of the half into two again. Right, so now let's dial into the lower time frame. So now see I will pick it from the monthly, but we can't say for sure until it reclaims this last month's high, right? That's the only way we can conclude that okay, it's no longer a fake out, right? But for now, it has broken back below our last month's high, right? Let me go down to, since we already marked out, there's nothing much to work with on the weekly time frame. So let's go to the daily. So for me, I feel we could still have pullbacks into this area. My white candles, these white candles are green candles, right? And the black ones are red candles. So you guys won't get it confused. So like I was saying, I still feel I tweeted it some time ago that I still feel price goes into this 12 H12 order block, that is bearish order block, right? And this, I think this still stands for it, right? I think we still get some kind of pullback. I can't say for certainty, but I feel we do have some pullback into that. Let me show you that on the H12. Take my eye. Sorry about the delay. Alright, so I wanted to show you guys the S12 order block. I think we'll do a pullback to. Right. So basically, other blocks are I don't know how to put it, but to identify another block, right? I'll just explain. I think I explained before in one of the live session I did, right? You notice this the green candle before the red candles that broke market structure. But if you notice, it was after this green candle we had a series of down move that broke this structure. This was the structure, it broke the structure downwards. So I still feel it comes back to do another underside retests of this green candle, right? So if I draw my box here, so everywhere inside of this box, because this is the box is the same size of the green candle, we probably have some pullbacks into this box, right, before trending lower, right? So that's that. So let's go back to, we'll still come back to this place, but let's go back to our chart. So if this green candle here is confluence to this green candle here, right? Just the only difference is that that one is on daily time frame, and this one is on 12-hour or 12-hour time frame. Basically, 12 hours is half of a day, right? It's half of what is happening on the daily time frame, right? So that's that. So another thing I forgot to mention is I forgot to plot out the weekly ranges, right? Because in trading, you are, especially if you're a range trader, if you trade level to level, right, you have to mark out some key points, key areas you have to mark out, like the one I first marked out, the last month's high, last month's low, and the mid area. And that thing to always take note of is weekly range, as it's weekly high, weekly low, and the mid area, and also Monday's range. Because if you check many of my charts, you always see I mark out Monday's range in the chart. So those are key levels to always watch out for if you're a range trader rather. So now let's mark out our weekly range. That is last week's range, right? When I say monthly range, I mean that the previous month's range. Weekly range, the previous week range. I don't know if you guys understand that. You can drop a comment if you understand, so I know you guys are following. Alright, let me just label this. Okay, alright. Bye bye today. Thank you. If you have questions, you can always ask in the comment section, so I'll answer. And Henry, I see you, Henry, too. You guys can ask questions in the comment section. Feel free to ask questions. I just feel here, so can easily answer your questions. Most of the live sessions dedicate all of us, even me too. Right. So feel free to ask questions. So let me map out last week's range in a different color. Let's use blue. Oh, sorry about that. Let's use blue so we can easily identify it. Okay. Last week's high. If you're doing analysis, you don't necessarily have to label it, right? If you can easily figure it out without labeling, no problem. I mean, I like labeling my own, so I can easily identify it. That's why I always label it. So I already mapped out last week's high, last week's low, right? So let me pick out the mid range of that area. The mid range of last week's candle, that comes around that's 28,779. Let me build that midweek. Alright, so we have our weekly range mapped out too, right? If you notice, this last week's low here comes almost around the same area of the midpoint of this January's range. The first, I don't know how to put it. You know, when we divided the last month, the monthly candle into last month's high, last month's low, and the midpoint, when it comes in confluence with last week's low, right? So anywhere around this area should be, if you're trading towards there, should be your profit taking area, right? We'll get onto that later on. And also midweek also comes in confluence with last month's high, right? So let's keep that in mind. So we mapped out our monthly range, weekly range, So let's now see Monday's range. If you can work with that too. Monday range has, I think that one has pretty much been done, right? That's price has pretty much tagged the ball. You can still go ahead and mark it out. So this candle is Monday's candle. If you see, look there, you see that's Monday's candle. So let's mark out Monday's range. So this Monday's I don't put that in green. Make it less thicker. You don't have to mind that the lines are too much, right? The reading is what is important. So far you have the levels, the reading is what is important. You won't get confused that way. Monday's high. Alright. So we already have Monday's high, then Monday's low. Also, when picking out levels to mark, you can also, another level to also you can take note of is the monthly open and weekly open, right? So to make things easier, you can always make things easier for yourself, right? There's an indicator that shows you all of these areas, like the way I'm mapping out my Monday's high, Monday's low. There's an indicator on TradingView that helps you mark them out easily. Let me show you guys. So when I click on indicator, right, you just search spaceman. Yeah, this one. So when you click on it, it's going to automatically show on your TradingView. So I already tapped it. Take my laptop. It's feeling cold. It's kind of slow. So you see, it already mapped it out. This is the indicator I was showing you guys. So you see, it already had it mapped out automatically for me. See, previous months. Let me change the color so you guys can see it. You can change the color too. When you click on settings, impure, change the color, change this one to black. You can change everything to black or any preferred color you want. For me, I like using black. Right. So change everything to black. So you can just play around with it and use whatever you like. Change black. Alright. So another thing to also note when mapping out this thing, just pick, fine, you map out your weekly levels, monthly levels, but these levels you are marking out, right, price has to respect it, right? This is what I mean. Let me toggle this indicator off because I don't really need it, but you can also use that to make things easier for you. So you don't always have to just mark out everything, right? Because you can mark out an area now, price doesn't respect it, so that level it's not useful in your chart, right? So we have our monthly levels marked, weekly levels marked, and Monday level marked, right? Let me label this Monday's low. Alright, so you see last week's low, these three levels come in confluence. Last week's low, Monday's low, and this midpoint of the middle, right? So I can just delete one of them. I feel I should delete Monday's low because it doesn't really, price is swing fairly Monday's low, right? So this is the important area for me because price came here, failed to close above this low we have here. We have a low here, we have this low, right? Price went up, came back, but failed to close below that low, right? So that makes it a swing fail. They call it swing failure pattern because it failed to close below it. You can watch videos on swing failure pattern or you can read on it later on. So you understand these things very well. The price failed to close below this, so this level still remains a significant level before pumping up, right? So we already have this range. Our range is pretty much, our range is mapped out. And if you also notice, this level we marked here, there's been a lot of activity in the past there. Price broke out of it, came to retest it and pushed up, came to retest it, pushed up, retested it again, pushed up to this point before doing some rejection, then broke out. It broke out a little, came to retest it, pushed up with this green candle, then broke below it, right? Remember what I was saying in daily time frame. If you zoom out to say 1 hour, you zoom out to 1 hour, you see this price action very well, right? So now starting from here, you see price came, tested it, rejected. Let me zoom it out a little bit so you guys can see it. This is what I mean when I say price has to respect your levels. You don't just draw levels anywhere. So yeah, it came to test it, came down below and broke out of it, so automatically making that resistance next. It came to retest it as support before pushing up, right? It pushed up, came around this area, right? So if you had longed anywhere around this level, your TP is supposed to be around this red level area. This is your first take profit should be around this level, right? So you don't necessarily have to wait for it to get here, because sometimes it might not get here before it round trips, right? So you long here, you look to the left, the previous resistance, then take profit at that level, right? So basically I'm not showing you that price has been respecting the levels I drew, right? So now moving forward, we had a series of consolidation around here. If you see, price has been choppy. So I lost quite some stupid amount of money because I was trying to trade it, which was wrong. So I got punished, lost money, and missed this whole move up. But it happens. You learn from that time, learn from it, and try not to repeat that kind of mistake next time. So for now, right, going forward, I feel we are around resistance, another resistance area, because if you look to this place, we had a series of consolidation here before price dropped down. So now I've traded back into that consolidation area, right? So I won't be longing here because it's already trading inside an obvious resistance. I don't know if that's clear, right? So trading inside an obvious resistance area, so it's not ideal to be longing this, right? What you can do here is wait for some sort of let's say if we break out of here, if we do break out of this, you can buy the retest, then target here as first take profit, then then last month's high as second take profit. I don't know if you understand the whole idea of my line, right? So first, what you can do is, if we have a breakout here, you wait for a retest back into this place, then you can look for long triggers, right? Then you long towards here, first take profit, then you long toward second take profit will be around here, right? And watch what happens after run, right? That's for long triggers. So for short triggers, right, if we do get a rejection, I wouldn't short immediately. If we do get a rejection, I'll be looking for something like this, a break back into Monday's high, right? I'll look for short structure, short it back down to last week's low as first target, then second target will be this our mid area, right? I don't know if that's clear. You can leave a comment if you understand that. Let me know if you guys are following. So I already highlighted my idea for a long and for a short. Right, let me know in the comment section if you guys understand. Alright, didn't get them. Alright, thank you for watching it. Thank you, Henry, too. I appreciate. So now that's clear for long triggers and short triggers within this range. I mean, within this range, yeah, towards, yeah. So within this range, if we already have our plan going forward, right? Like I said, remember this also another thing to note is that this last month's high comes in confluence, because if you see the price is 29,197, comes in confluence with this other block I mentioned here. Just give me a moment, please. This other block I mentioned here, this box I drew here that I told you about at that time, and I said I expected price to trade into it, right? So it comes in confluence with this target here, right? So most likely you can't say for sure, because nobody knows. We don't know what will happen in the future. We're only trading based on probabilities, right? But if we do get a reclaim of this or breakout and reclaim of this box, I'll be looking to long towards that area, right? First take profit here, second take profit here. Stop loss will be below the low it leaves, right? So then you watch out to see what happens within this area. What is this? Put the box here. The LP is basically within 29,184 towards 30k, right? So it can trade towards here and reject one, or it can trade to the extremities of the other block area, form a short structure on lower first price trading into this box, right? So once it trades into this box, you can now look for, you can zoom out to your lower time frame and look for whichever trigger you always use to trade. If it's SFP, if it's other block, or whichever, over and under, you can look for that inside of this bearish order block, then short back down, right? If we do get a rejection from this box, I feel we trade way lower, right? So that's that. I think my laptop is catching cold this night. Alright, so that's that for the long and short triggers, right? So if we finally get a push into the other block, it is this area, right? Look for short triggers, then short back down. If you're shorting from this area, the target should be still this one as first target, second target. If it breaks below here, if it breaks below here, it does something like this. Alright, this will be your trigger. Trade towards the mid area as first target, then second target will be somewhere around here, the midpoint of this range, right? Somewhere around here. But what to take note of is that this will be your first target, because if you look previously at what happened in the past, sorry about that. So you see, in the past there was a consolidation here that led to this rally up. So most likely, if price should trade here, traders will be looking to take profits around this area. So you should do the same too. So if it does break below here, after shorting either from here or from off higher from here to towards this area and taking profit. If you do get another short trigger, right, you can take the short invalidation above here, any high it leaves, right. This place will be take profit because of this is our trouble area, so it's only normal to take profits around here first, then watch what happens. Like I said, the mid area of this range, which comes in confluence with this, right, you see there's a tap here, first tap here, there's another tap here. Let me put a line there so it will be easy to identify. Alright, let me put that in black. Right, so you guys see the way I does dividing everything and trading. So talking of triggers, I think for now we already know, I already explained the short and long scenarios for the range. So look for triggers, right? There are different triggers you could use when trading. You could either use order blocks, swing failure pattern, right? Let me show you an example of swing failure pattern. So we had one before this move up, but I faded that and I got punished for it. So here's what I mean by swing failure pattern. So now if you look at this, right, we had a low here. We had a low here. Price failed to close. It went below the low, but failed to close above. That's one. The price traded up, came back, and failed to close below that same low, right? So that's what this one is. You call this a bullish SFP, a bullish swing failure pattern, right? If it happens the other way around, you call it a bearish SFP, right? I think we had one. I'm trying to figure. Okay, we had one here, right? We had this high, price traded back into this area but failed to close above the high we had here. So you see what happened after that. We had a series of down move. So this one is the opposite of this, right? So this is, we call this one a bearish SFP, bearish SFP. Okay, so this one is bullish SFP. So I failed to see this because I was short from. This was why I shorted. I didn't post the short. I only posted it on my Discord. I shorted. I think somewhere here. So I shorted because of this. This is what a high here, a high that led to the move. Price traded to this high above it, but failed to close above it. So I shorted this candle, right? Then I was busy with something. Then before I came back, I was already stopped out. No, I wasn't watching itself. I was watching it. Basically, I got stopped out, right? Most of this context and what do I call it though? Most of the things we use, or whatever it is we do in crypto, it's not 100% sure, right? We're only trading on probability, like I always say. Nothing is 100% sure or 100% guaranteed. Even other blocks fail. Swing failures fail, like the one that happened there, it failed, but this one held, right? But the thing is, many times they always work, right? So that's why it's important to manage risk. If you manage risk, for the times they fail, you only lose a small percent of your portfolio. That's the importance of risk management. So always keep your loss in check, right? So I don't know if you guys understand the swing failure pattern. You can leave a comment. Let me know if you guys understand the SFP. And also, if you have questions, please kindly ask, so I'll answer them. So see how this SFP, that swing failure we had here, led to the move up. If I had seen this earlier, probably I would have taken a long at the close of this candle. Then probably can put my stops here, but that will be too tight. I can also put my stops here below this low, right? One of the things to also note when setting invalidation at a stop loss and targets, right? For stop, if you want to take a long like this one now, if I was to take this long, right, where I'll put my invalidation will be, I'll look to the left. I can either put it here, this one invalidation, this another one, or for me I like putting it two invalidation below, right? What I mean by that is this one invalidation here, this another invalidation here, so I'll put it here, this is the second one, put it below the second one, right? Can be here or below it, whichever you like, right? Because if I put it here, price can just do a sharp movement, wick me out, and continue to move up, right? So a more conservative one will be maybe two validations below. I don't know if you guys understand that, right? So if I are taking the long here with maybe targets at first target at Monday high, that will be close to 2 hour, and second target here, that will be close to 3 hour. So but I faded this whole move. I faded myself on this whole move because I was not attentive enough to what the market was doing, right? Likewise this too, if you are taking this short here, if you are taking this short at the close of this candle, right, invalidation will be to the left. You can either put it here or put it here. So since this one is too far, I can just put it here, right? Then targets will be this low. For targets too, you look to the left, right? So let me come back to this long. Like I said, for invalidation at the stop loss, look to the left, right? Also for targets, you look to the left. So now my target for this one would have been this high first, which conference to Monday's high. The high we had here, right? And this high here too, right? So this my first target will be this high. Second target will be this high, right? This high here. So that's how you pick invalidations on your targets. But if you have your own way of doing it, you can stick to your way if it works. You don't necessarily have to use mine. Scalping, what if you're scalping too, the thing is, right, if you whichever thing you're doing, if you're scalping too, this context work, swing failures work, over and under. I will explain over and under shortly. These things work too, right? So let's say maybe for scalping you use 5 minutes. I don't know which time frame you use. Say for scalping you use 5 minutes. So this is 5 minutes, right? The important thing is trading. If you want to first, even if you want to scalp, right, you pick out your levels from the higher time frame. That way you can see what the market is doing, the bigger picture of the market, right? You pick out your levels from higher time frame. You cannot dial in to, like the way I picked out my level. All of this my levels I have here. All of my levels I have here, aside from these red lines, are from the bigger time frame, right? Like we all plotted together, right? So now I already figured out. I already highlighted this bullish SFP on 1 hour. Let me delete this for now. Okay, let me still leave it. I already drew this line, this red bullish SFP from the 1 hour. So I waited for the candle to close. I can now go to 5 minutes, right? If I want to scalp, go to 5 minutes, then look for structures, right? So now it failed to close. I'll wait for shift in market structure. It already shifted here because this whole move broke this structure. This was the structure. So this whole move broke out of this structure we have there, right? You can see we had this green candle that went down. So we had a push out of all of this consolidation. So I'll be looking to bid or to long any retest of it. So we had this retest. If I had long here, let me delete this. See, it's still going in line with your scalping method. If I had long anywhere around here, if I put my stop loss here, it might be too tight, right? But you can, if you are comfortable with it, you can do it. But I don't advise putting your stops too tight that way. So I can put my stops here, or yeah, this This is one invalidation, two invalidation. So like I said, two invalidations below. So I put my stop loss below this second one. It is below this one. Yeah. So my stop loss is below that. Targets will be the high. Forget about this red line, right? Let's forget about that one. So like I said, targets will be. Oh shit! What's going on? All right. So targets will be the high. That is Monday high. Monday's high we had. That'll be first target, right? So let me drag my long tool towards that area. That'll be first target. That's one. See that even with the difference between this and the other risk to reward, because if you look at this now, you see the risk to reward is 4.4 for our first target, because we entered on a lower time frame. Because the whole idea behind scalping is, aside from scalping short quick moves, is also trading on a very very low time frame, right? That's the whole idea behind scalping. So first target, it gave us a tighter entry, right? Invalidation here. First take profits would be Monday's high. Then the second one would be the one I highlighted before, right? So that will give us a 6 hour risk to reward. I don't know if you understand that, Henry. Let me know if you understand that. You can leave a comment so I'll know if you understand that, right? So right. So that's that. Alright, good. So that's that. So now let me explain over and under the idea behind that one. Right, let me go to 15 minutes. So basically this, like the way I deal with this quick line, like I said, let me use that to explain over and under. So we have Monday's high as our area of value. So now is our resistance, right? So price already broke out of it, but hasn't come to do a clean retest yet, right? So if it does reject from this box area, like I said, if it does reject, right, and does something like this, and does something like this, break back inside, right, do a fake out, break back below, right, and break back below and do something like this. So this, shit, sorry about that. So this will be my trigger, right? And I'll be shorting towards here. My stops will be above this area. I don't know if that's clear, right? So that's what over and under is. Deviation, like this one now. Let me delete that. So like what we had here, what we had here. Excuse me. So what we had here is, this one is a deviation. It went under it, then came back over it, right? This is a deviation. Then it started consolidating, right? So we had a swing failure pattern, right? It's already over and under already, because it's under it, it came over it, right? It broke below but broke back inside, right? So like I said, with this quick line, when I said if price should break down below last week's low and this level here, the 26769 level, you should do something like this, right? This went over it, it came back under it. First retest, you can fade down. Second retest will be a trigger for shorts. Then your stops will be above this high and any high it leaves, right? Your targets will be this first level for take profit one. Then second targets will be this level, right? So that's basically how over and under works. Let me know if you guys understand that. Can you leave a comment so I know you guys understand that? So basically, this is the range we'll be working with, right? For now. So alternatively, if it breaks out of last week's high, we can look to take a long towards let me mark that out. I'll take a long towards hey, can you okay, alright. Let me I will explain that again. I'll go over the over and under again. Why is this shit? No. Alright. Alright, so if it does reclaim last month rather, if it does do this, if it breaks out here, first one fade, second one will be your trigger, right? So you target here as first target. Why? Is because if you look back, right, we tested, pushed up a little bit but broke back down below, right? Yeah, same here, retested, pushed up, right? So this is an area of value. This level, this line area is an area of value. So it's most likely people or traders will take profit in this area. So take profit 1 year, take profit 2 year, right? Tip it 2 year, right? Then see what happens, and probably tip it 3 at this highs here. At this highs here, right? Your stop loss will be below this low, right? The low that it left before it reclaimed the last month's high, right? That's another strategy. That's the way to beat or to trade over and unders, right? Like I said, reclaim, first retest, you can fade that. Second retest, you look too long, right? Another way to do it is, if you want to catch the move, you can just easily dial it to your lower time frame, either 15 minutes or 5 minutes, whichever it is you feel comfortable with. What's important is the context, right? You dial it to 15 minutes, you see first retest, you feel that second retest is what you'll be looking to beat, right? The targets here, first target, here second target, and that high, this high of the previous candle, of this candle here, as a final TP, right? Your stops will be below this low or any low it leaves. That's still over and under strategy. So the deviation, the one I was explaining before you said you lost me early, was this. Like I said, if price should break below this mid area, is 26,769. If we should break below, right, do something like this, break below, come to retest, maybe do a fake out like this, then break down below. This is already over. Breaking down below is under. Come and do a first retest. You feel that second retest is what you'll be looking to beat, right? Second retest is what you're looking to beat. Then you target this. This is your entry. This will be your trigger for entry, right? Your stops will be around here. First target here. Second target will be around here, right? And if it pushes lower, you can take another profit here, right? If it comes here, you take profit, and it starts to consolidate here and start to do reclaims, you can just cut. You can cut the rest of the position, right? Likewise here too. Likewise here, if it breaks out, reclaim, pushes to here, take profits, and it starts to break down from here, you look to cut, right? you cut the rest. But if it does take it here and pushes further, take another profit here. But if it pushes to this area, it starts to break down below. After you take profit, you just cut the position and you look for another entry, right? Same thing here too. If it breaks out over first retest, you fade. Second one is what you look to bid, right? This place will be your first target, second target. If it starts to break down below, you just cut the rest of the position and look for another entry, right? It's not every time it always hits all our targets. It doesn't always happen all of the time, but if it does, fine, no problem, you trade it. If it starts to break down, you cut it. So that's that. So I think I'll only be doing BTC for today, so I don't have to waste too much time. So do you guys have any questions? Let me know if you have any questions, so you ask them and I'll answer before I end the stream. We already spent 1 hour already. Yeah. And please do give the stream a thumbs up. Like the stream. I know we are a few here, but just give it a thumbs up. I'll try to do this maybe once a week, every week. Right. Let me know if you guys have any questions before I end the stream. I think I'll only be doing BTC for today, because we already spent an hour here already. Any questions? Well, I think let me know if you guys have any questions before I end the stream. And also, please do give the video a thumbs up, and you can subscribe too. Alright, so I'll do this every week, once a week. I give plan for BTC for that week. Maybe probably I'll do this maybe every Sunday, but I'll work on that and see if it's going to work out. So let me know if you guys have any questions. Alright, I think no questions for now. So thank you guys for tuning in. That will be all for today.